Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 181. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and today we're going to continue the arc of the good vibes by talking about a deck that is hilariously budget. Now hit our theme song! Hey Ryan, we're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What's going down?
A whole ton is going down, starting with we're actually in the same room as one another for the first time in weeks. We're going to talk about a deck that is a throwback to one of our most popular decks we've ever done here on the show in the 181 episodes that we have done. We're going to thank some new patrons. We're going to talk about some new merchandising opportunities, and we're going to spread the good vibes as we are always want to do on the show. But before we do any of that, we're going to thank our official sponsors, face-to-facegames.com. They're Canada's biggest Magic store.
Ooh, very much so. And they are operational, and you could buy today's deck
with your pocket change
for a measly $27 US.
So like 105 Canadian.
Yeah, the exchange rate is particularly low right now, but we are in the same room.
We are
doing a budget deck. Our last budget deck that I kind of mentioned on the pre-show yesterday was the Golos Mayor of Combo Town.
Yeah.
It was like $25. Today, $27. It is a Patreon submission. We got this a little while ago when we were going to do an arc of budget kind of before all of the public health shit went down. But now we've got a bunch of budget decks sitting in the email folder that we keep everything organized in, and
the to-do pile.
The to-do pile, as it were, because we're going to do them as many of them as we have to, as we can. As long as everybody needs good vibes like budget decks, we're going to be doing decks like this.
Yeah, people love decks like this. Maybe we'll give it away. Who can say?
Glue your eyeballs to the Commander Cookout social feeds at CCO Podcast, at CCO Brando, the Commander Cookout YouTube channel, Brando Does Stuff YouTube channel, the future Commander at Populum YouTube channel, and of course, Facebook.com/CCO Podcast.
We are fucking everywhere.
We're everywhere. Yeah, I don't want to be any more damn places.
I don't either. Kyla's so thin.
Kyla's talking to me about Instagram and shit. I'm like, oh dang, I can't.
I can't afford it.
I can't afford it. Yeah, I mean, there's Dreamcast and there's Space. What the fuck is the reference from Malibu's Most Wanted?
I forget.
Oh, there's GameCube and there's
Dreamcast.
Yeah, man, I got a Gamecast, man. I can't afford it. Got there. So today, the budget deck, we had submissions on all the social feeds. If you guessed the hint, what are we giving away today? Let's do another. We've got one more social distancing, face-to-face games playmat to give away. The last one was very well received.
Okay.
That's what you're winning today. If you guessed Atris, Oracle of Half-Truths.
Oracle of Half-Truths? Atris? You mean the Human Advisor 3-2 for Black Blue 2 with Menace? That whenever he comes into play, target opponent looks at the top 3 cards of your library, separates them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. You put one of those piles into your hand and the other into your graveyard?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, I was going to say, let's talk about the commander or tell you who the commander is and then talk about 100 other things.
Hell yeah.
So today we are in Studio CCO proper? Studio CCO 2?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're sitting in front of the green screen. Tomorrow you are going to have your first batch of real CCO YouTube content in what, like 8 weeks, 9 weeks, where it's both of us?
At the very least, yeah.
So we may or may not have some booster boxes.
We may not have some super packs.
We may or may not have some good local beer.
Oh, that we definitely have.
Oh, baby. And we may or may not, who knows, we might be cracking it to see who is victorious.
Oh, shit.
So, of course, stay tuned to youtube.com/c/channel/Commander Cookout/ whatever.
Capital P, small p, XH 37. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. Find it. It's good.
Yeah. Link will be in the show notes to all of that. And it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm so pumped. I haven't opened up any product. It's been sitting in my car, and I was at my niece's birthday. I haven't even touched it yet. I didn't even look at my Godzilla promo until like today when I took it out of my car.
Aren't they nice?
Oh, yeah.
Those are super nice.
Yeah. So super pumped about that. Super packs! That's going to be just fucking pumped.
It's exciting. I opened the whatchamacallit, the super pack booster box on Brando Does Stuff.
Yep.
And it was great. super fun, everything that I'd wanted it to be, minus a good box. And
So nothing at all that you wanted
I'm
it
really
to be.
excited to open the rest. Nah, it was fine. I had fun.
How did they smell? They smell good?
I don't know. They kind of smell like modern packs.
Oh, I didn't smell like those late 90s vintage, hey?
No, I wish.
I got a pack of Invasion upstairs, hey?
What the? Why are we opening that?
Because we got super packs! You led into it perfectly.
Oh, it worked out. It worked good.
Yeah, so we've got Atris today. This was submitted by Ink Drop Decandra is the name on Patreon. I know his real name. His name on the CCO Discord is Inky Butthead or something, which is just as good.
We could call him Dink Stomp.
Dink Stomp Butthead?
Instead of that too.
I don't want to Google any of that.
No, if you watch the pre-show, we
You can't even Google Panini Press.
We proved live on the internet that you cannot Google anything.
Yeah, we didn't show anything, but like this isn't an act. This is actually there was far dirtier things than like Friday Night Cam Girls.
Yeah, we were talking about sandwiches. I didn't even see a sandwich in any of that.
I imagine that we were going to see two of one thing and one of the other, kind of pointing into the middle thing.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I smell what you're stepping
Not
in.
what we saw at all.
Yeah, no, not what I was. Yeah,
Lots of food and like naked people.
I still don't know what a panini is.
Well, watch the pre-show on YouTube. It's quality content. It's the first time we've seen each other, and we're back at our old dirty ass ways.
Yeah, we're back with a vengeance, is what we are.
Yeah. Speaking of being old and dirty.
Oh shit.
We've got a couple new patrons to thank.
Oh, that was a good segue. King of the segue over here.
Big thank you, shout out, FU, and nicknames. And I have no idea how to say this.
Uh-oh.
Amin Perasta?
What's a mean something?
He's a mean pair of asses. That could be something that we Google.
No.
Oh,
Definitely not.
I guess I'm doing it wrong then.
Yeah, you're not doing this right at all. A mean Palasta? A mean Ballista?
Oh, yeah, mean walkie bee.
Mean Walkie Bee, I like it.
Mean walkie bee. Walking bee being walking ballista, of course.
Yes. Got there.
Thank you, FU. He probably got a bunch of middle fingers on the Discord.
Here's hoping. Those are fun. I like seeing those.
Next up, big shout out, thank you, and FU, Dominic Kaufman.
Dominic Kaufman?
Something about a coffin, something about being a dominatrix.
Dominic Coffin?
Coffin Dom.
I like Dominic Coffin.
Dominic Coffin? Yeah. That rolls off the tongue nice. That sounds like a Godzilla monster.
It kind of does. If I had the Godzilla sound effect with us, I'd play it.
Well, you'll be editing this.
Oh, look out, world.
We spouted off a whole bunch of stuff. Dominic, thank you. Choose your nickname wisely. If you want to be Dominic Kaufman, King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
That could work.
Or just Dominic Coffin, King of the people who live in coffins. You could be a vampire. We don't know.
King of getting fingered on the Discord.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was out of town all weekend and the end of last week, so I don't remember if I seen you hop onto the Discord, but if you're there, thank you. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the benefits to becoming a patron. We very much appreciate it. And if you didn't watch the pre-show, we did thank all the patrons because they did help us with some recent upgrades to Studio CCO.
Yeah, we're going to get some cool camera work stuff to make the viewing experience on YouTube a little bit better. It's also going to allow us to do a little bit maybe more, I don't want to say streaming stuff, but with the uptick in VEDH, maybe there will be more opportunities for your boys Ryan and Brando to jump in games with you, yes you, due to some of the things that you, the patrons, have given to us.
Yeah, just camera mounts, different camera angles, so we can show the cards that we're opening a little bit better, both for the YouTube or the CCO stuff and your pack openings.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. We've got some plans for that, and especially for once the world opens up for what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. There's lots in the pipe for us both, and I think that CCONation and everybody that consumes what we are doing is going to be into it, I hope.
Yeah, and now that I've seen you, we've got the CCO coasters in my hand. There'll be pictures. Peep them on commandercookout.com/store. They'll be there. They'll be sold in packs of 4 for $6 or $8, whatever they are. And those do go a long way to help us get, just better camera stuff, better lights, all that jazz.
When MFs start again, if you wanted us to be at one near you, sales of things like coasters and shirts and play mats and all that stuff are what gets us to an MF near you. So if you want some great coasters for either you and 4 buddies or you and 4 beers, now's the opportunity. You can support the show, support us, and get yourself some sweet swag at the same time.
Yeah, and I've got a line on shirts where a guy can drop ship right to US buyers.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, so it's still in the works. We're not promising anything yet, but that's the kind of stuff we've been working on when we can't go out and play. You know, we've got a few more hours during the week to do some stuff like that. So it's really exciting.
Yes.
On to the show?
Sure.
That was a question, but like that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's also not a question.
If we have to talk about Magic, that is, we'll do this deck.
I guess.
So Atris, Oracle of Half-Truths. This is black and blue. What is it, a human advisor?
He's a human advisor with menace.
We can look at the top and the top. Do they get exiled, right?
No, your opponent looks at the top and then separates them into 2 piles. One of them is face up, one of them is face down, and then you pick one of the piles and it goes into your hand. I've played against this guy on shitty arena.
Where do the other ones go? Into
Graveyard.
your graveyard. Okay,
Yep.
so we've got a little bit of a reanimation theme.
Yep, you could definitely do some reanimation stuff. I find that not being able to see what the other pile is fairly advantageous because you probably never want to take it because you're too worried it's going to be 2 land.
Yep.
So you end up being able to hide some good ass shit in that face down pile, so they discard it and then you laugh at them.
How often do you think that we cast our commander with this deck?
Once, and then you blink it a whole bunch of times.
Yes, we'll see that in the instance and sorcery section. If we let it die, we let it just die, right? Because we've got reanimation.
Yeah.
Okay, so Creech? That is also not a question, but you knew exactly where we were going.
We will start with Academy Journey Mage. You're going to see some, I don't want to say stinkers, but you're going to see some stinkers in this list because it is ultra budget and it is very cool for that exact reason.
Oh, yeah. $27 deck. So, like we said, we might give it away. Just saying. But cool includes very atypical, not what you think you're going to see, especially when we're talking about Reanimator, right? And having no red in here. There's no World Gorger combos. There's nothing that is going to be like, oh, of course they're doing that, which I think is actually good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what Academy Journey Mage?
Yeah.
That's a 3/2 human wizard for blue 4.
For 5?
Yeah, 3/2 for 5. Okay. This spell costs 1 less if you control a wizard, which maybe we would, or no, we wouldn't because our fucking commander's an advisor.
Yeah, but hypothetically, maybe there's more wizards.
Okay. And when it enters the battlefield, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand.
So it's a 3/2 with a boomerang attached to it.
An unsummon. It's not even a boomerang.
It's the worst.
We could return our commander, or we could return something else that we have.
No, because it can only your opponent's stuff goes back to their hand.
Oh.
Yeah, no, there's no versatility here. That is exactly what it says on the card, dude.
Okay, well.
All right, the next one is an Archaeomancer. I haven't seen this card in forever.
Archaeomancer, another wizard, 1/2 for 4, enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a very good card.
I mean, aside from being a 1/2 for 4, it's definitely not too bad. Let's talk about a card that I think is bad, but maybe not in this deck, in Bizarre Trade Mage.
Another wizard, human wizard, so we're seeing a trend. 3/4 for 3, flying, enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard 3 cards.
So you get one activation. You get 1 time to feel how good it feels to tap a Bazaar of Baghdad.
You get to do it once at the cost of 3 mana.
Yes.
So
I guess you don't even really get to feel how good it feels
to
activate a Bazaar of Baghdad.
But it is a wizard, and if you can blink it, you can get a bunch of like stuff into your graveyard and card selection.
Sure.
Yeah, it's good.
That's fine. Also, if you were to alter that and take the little carpet he's standing on out and put like a dude standing down there, you could have him take a crap on the guy's head. That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Not that people are going to be needing to alter cards for you anytime soon, but it's a thing. Next up, we have Crafty Cut Purse.
Crappy Cut Purse. Crapping on somebody's head.
Crappy Coin Purse. There we go.
Do not.
Not a chance. Do not. No.
I'm waving my hands in the air.
Oh, this is an actual cool card. I actually like this one.
Human Pirate. It's a 2/2 for 4. so maybe human is relevant. I don't know yet. Flash, when it enters a battlefield, each token that would be created under your opponent's control this turn is created under our control instead.
That's just cool. If you've ever played with Gather Specimens, it's an instant for blue 3.
Oh, yeah.
All creatures your opponents that would come into play this turn come into play for you instead, except it's like a crappier version of it.
For less mana.
But for less mana, yes. And still pretty cool. Like, I like this card. I would run both of them in a deck.
It feels a little bit like a meta call, like somebody in this meta has a token deck, or two people, or
Sure.
almost once per game you might be able to see a token deck.
I think that in most...
Maybe we give tokens in this deck. I don't remember.
Yeah, I forget too. But I would say that in general, I would say in EDH pods, you could probably steal at least one creature a game with that thing.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think I've ever been in a game of EDH where that wouldn't get me at least a 1/1. I'll play my, what is it? The garden that gives you a
Colony
plant.
Garden.
Colony Garden. Nah, fuck you, man. No value. Play on tapped lands, you scrub. How about a Deathbringer Regent?
Ooh. 7 mana, 5/6 flying dragon, enters the battlefield. If there's 5 or more other creatures, destroy all other creatures.
Ooh.
That is 7 mana, but it's 35 cents, and we can kill everything except it.
I mean, it costs less than Damnation. Might cost more than Extinction Event, though.
Ooh. Extinction Event is cheap?
I think so.
It's a new one from
Ikoria.
We maybe will get it.
Yeah, maybe we'll open one and we can still wonder if it's cheap.
Yes.
How about a Dinrova Horror? What is that?
That took you as many times out loud as it took me in my head.
What is that?
It's something you shouldn't Google. It's got a bunch of tentacles and suction cups.
Where's its head?
The same place that Calamax's head is. It's even the same colors.
Maybe these colors just are not congruent to having heads on your monsters.
Yeah, it's a 4/4 horror for black, blue 4. Enters the battlefield, return target permanent to its owner's hand, then that player discards a card.
That's cool.
Yes, you could make them, if they have no cards in hand, bounce their best thing and then they bin it. We could bounce our best thing and then bin it and then reanimate it with a bunch of other stuff. You'll see we can do that in a minute. Anyway, it's good. It's fine.
It's fun. How about a Dream Eater?
Ooh, lots of text on that. 6 mana, 4/3 flash flyer. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 4. That's scry, but to your graveyard. If you want it on the bottom, you can put it onto your graveyard instead.
Yeah.
When you do, you may return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. So you bounce their thing after you put a bunch of your own things into your graveyard.
So it mills you and unsummons. That's a mythic.
Yeah. It's a Nightmare Sphinx. It doesn't do what nightmares do, but it's cool. And you know what? Lots of these opponent bounce things function as pseudo removal.
It's fine. That's a mythic. That sucks. That sucks that's a mythic. How about an Exclusion Mage? I don't like this guy.
Enters the battlefield. It's a 2/2 human wizard for 3. Enters the battlefield. Return target creature and opponent controls to their hand.
He's an asshole. He's
That's
kicking
fine.
people out of the party. How about a Fallen Shinobi?
That is a 5/4 zombie ninja for 5, but you can ninjutsu it for 4. So you can return an unblocked creature you control to its owner's hand, which is relevant.
Yep.
To flash this guy in, and then it hits your opponent instead of that other creature. And whenever Fallen Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top 2 cards of their library. Until end of turn, we can play those cards without paying their mana cost.
That's effing good.
Cool card, yeah.
That is a really good card. I like it lots.
And sneaky because we're not playing a ninja deck.
Yeah, or a zombie deck.
And we get to bounce something like our Gravedigger that we're playing, or our Chaomancer, right? Gravedigger's our next card, that's why I mentioned it. When it enters the battlefield, you return a creature from our graveyard to our hand.
You know what would be better to bounce with that ninja than a Gravedigger? How about a Grey Merchant of Asphodel?
Oh yeah, Grey Merchant of Ass.
Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Yes.
There it is. Merchant of Asphodel. I'll bet you there is a movie about that you do not want to watch in private polite company. Privately you want to watch it. Publicly,
yes.
No.
I do. This is a 2/4 zombie for 5. It enters the battlefield. Each opponent loses life equal to your devotion to black, and we gain that much life. This is one of the best zombies that there is.
Yes. It's a super good card. Super good. Like some people think it's unexciting, but I think it's cool. I think it's a cool card.
Hey, listen, it wins you the game. It's awesome to bounce. It's awesome to reanimate. It's 25 cents. Everything about this card is fine.
Just play it.
Yeah.
How about Hoverguard Sweepers?
Oh, yeah. This is from Darksteel originally or something. This is a 5/4, 5/6 flying drone for 8?
8?
Wow.
And what do we say about cards that cost 8, Ryan?
They should win you the game.
Does this one win you the game?
If you're playing in an Animar, it does. But we are not doing that today. It enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands.
Why does that cost 8?
That's lots of bounce. Like, if you think bouncing a dude on a creature as an ETB, that costs 4, and we get to do 2. And we may do 2.
It still costs 4, because it's 8.
That's right. It costs 4, and then it costs 4 again, but you get a flying 5/6.
I guess. It's 8.
Yes, lots.
I feel like if something was printed right now that cost 8 or less, it might do something like come into play and let you mill until you find a permanent card and put it into play. Maybe it would be an uncommon that costs 6, and you could mill until you find until you find X permanents, then put all X permanents into play. I don't know. Like maybe those are cards that happen. How about Identity Thief?
Identity Thief is a shapeshifter, so I guess this is a human, wizard, or zombie.
Sure.
Sure, it's not, but when it attacks, you may exile another target non-token creature. If you do, Identity Thief becomes a copy of that, right? And you return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step.
That is a tricky card, and I like it a whole lot because it lets you take advantage of all your ETB stuff.
Yep.
It I guess it can't really be used as a combat trick, but it lets you recycle all of your stuff. You could bounce your Gary over and over and over again just by attacking with that guy.
There you go.
Like it's pretty cool. Or I guess your Hoverguard Sweeper.
You know what? Yeah. If it's turn 87. I like that analysis because you hit on using ETBs over and over, but you mentioned that you have to attack, which is what that card does. That feels very Brando to me.
Yes. Ingenious Infiltrator is next.
That is another ninjutsu guy, Vidalcan Ninja this time. A 2/3 ninjutsus for black-blue instead of black-blue 2 to cast. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Another cool one.
That's Ninja of the Deep Hours, right? Except it's black-blue and does the same thing, but for all ninjas.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I super like this guy. How about Ixodron?
Ooh, baby. Star Illusion for blue 3. Enters the battlefield, turn all non-token creature face down. They're 2/2 morphers, but they're not.
Yeah, they don't have morph. They're just 2/2s now.
We're not playing any morphers either.
No, we're not.
Anyways, its power and toughness each equal to the number of face-down creatures on the battlefield.
I like Ixodron. I like him a lot. I like when people play him. I usually don't because I'm pretty creature heavy and I want my dudes to do what they're supposed to do.
You want your dudes to dude?
Yeah. Dude's got a dude. But I love seeing Ixodron in decks. I love it.
Yeah. And you know what? People have always, lamented on Ixodron where it's like, how come it doesn't enter the battlefield with +1s equal to face downs? Then you can proliferate. Then it doesn't get smaller in the morph deck when you morph your guys face up. And it's like, yeah, Ixodron doesn't give a shit about any of that. It's like, we're not going to play any morph. This is how big Ixodron is. Deal with it or die.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be bigger than all of the 2/2s.
Yes. If he becomes a 0/0, that's good because it means all your opponent's creatures are dead. You've done your job.
Oh, man. We should have mentioned, too, that we're playing 31 creatures. Let's fucking abbreviate this. I think people are understanding that there's wizards. We want to bounce stuff. There's an Ixodron.
You know what else there is, Ryan?
What is it?
A fish illusion.
Fish illusion.
Called Jace's Mind Seeker.
Jace's mind-seeking illusion enters the battlefield. Target opponent puts the top 5 of their library into their graveyard. You can cast an instant or sorcery from among them without paying its mana cost.
Sick.
So we care about that a little bit. It's a 4/4 flyer for 6.
It's fine. Yeah. Keeper of Keys.
Enters the battlefield. You become the monarch.
Cool.
So at the end of the turn, if we're the monarch, we draw a card.
Yes.
And if somebody does combat damage to the monarch, they become the monarch.
Correct.
Okay, we've got lots of bounce. We've got lots of evasive stuff, so we're going to be the monarch often.
Most of the time.
Okay. Also, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you're the monarch, creatures you control can't be blocked this turn.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's how we stay the monarch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good-ass card. We got a Massacre Girl.
That just kills everything.
It's the wrath that we can afford in a budget deck.
Yeah, 35 cents. Play it.
Meteor Golem kills a permanent for 7 and gives you a 3/3 body.
Yep.
Mnemonic Wall.
That is the 5 mana 0/4 wall version of Archaeomancer. Enters the battlefield, bounce a thing from your graveyard to your hand.
Shit, yeah. How about Overseer of the Damned?
Oh, man. I used to play this in Rakdos Lord of Riots.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is Commander Special, 5/5 Flying Demon for black, 5. Enters the battlefield, destroy target creature.
Nice.
That's important, okay. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, like when we kill it with this card,
Yeah.
we get a 2/2 black zombie creature token into the battlefield tapped.
I like that.
So it's going to be 7 power worth of thing for 7 that flies. Some of which is tapped, but it's on rate.
It's pretty good. I dig that.
Yep.
What a Peregrine Drake.
That enters the battlefield, untaps 5 lands. It's a 2/3 that costs 5.
Jesus.
You know, we can probably find some way to combo with this. In fact, I know that there's a way to combo with this. I just thought of it just now.
Okay, we'll get to that in a bit.
Sure.
Phyrexian Ingester.
Oh, baby. Okay. Blue, 6, beast, 3/3.
Sounds like crap.
Yeah. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-token creature. Anybody's. Okay. Phyrexian Ingester gets +X+Y, where X is the exiled creature's power and Y is its toughness.
Ooh.
So you just get to kill something and make a big. Sort of like the Overseer of the Damned, but on 1 body instead of 2.
I dig that.
Yeah, for the same mana cost.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
How about Possessed Scab?
Scab.
That's just Possessed Scab. Somebody wrote that down on top of a card, and somebody above him in the pecking order was like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And then all the way through, everybody was like, yeah, let's have a Possessed Scab.
That's some of that original Innistrad art, too, with those real messed up looking zombies, right?
Yeah.
So this is a 3/2 zombie for black, blue 3. When it enters the battlefield, return an instant sorcery or creature from your graveyard to your hand. If it dies, exile it instead. So you can't infinite, like, sacrifice and get this back shenanigans like you can with some other cards. But it essentially does Archaeomancer stuff.
Yeah. How about Salvage? Oh, we have a Ravenous Chupacabra. It comes in and kills a thing.
Kills a thing.
How about Salvager of Secrets?
Sure, that is a 2/2 for 5. When it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, that's just another Archaeomancer.
Archaeomancer.
Okay. Archaeomancer. Out of nowhere.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. How about a Scholar of Ages?
Scholar of Ages. Does that do the same thing? Enters the
It's
battlefield.
a super duper Archaeomancer.
Yeah, return 2 for 7 mana, but they put it on a 3/3 to justify 7 mana. All right, so that's a double Archaeomancer on 1 card. Actually good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
How about let's justify something else costing 7 in Scourge of the Fleets.
Oh, baby. 6/6 Kraken enters the battlefield. Return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less, where X is the number of islands you control.
I like that card lots.
Yes.
How about a Sphinx of Uthun?
Uthun.
He's pretty jacked.
What is that, like 5 O's, 3 U's, or
It's 18 O's and a U.
he's a jacked 5/6 flying Sphinx for 7.
Dang.
Jeez, the 7s, hey?
Yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent exiles them or separates them to 2 piles. We get the pile of our choice. It's Factor Fiction.
Yeah.
It's like Factor Fiction, like Atris is like a mini Factor Fiction.
Yes.
And the ones we don't pick notably go to our graveyard.
Important.
Yes.
Given that we're playing a lot of graveyard stuff.
Yes.
And we have an Unch Crucifix Sovereign.
You sounded like you were hammered when you said that.
Oh, we have a
This is
Sovereign.
The 6 mana, 4/4 flying Sphinx. Sphinx spells you cast 2 less to cast.
Yeah, all 2 of them, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, get
okay.
that
If we can make a
discount.
token of this and then recast this one.
Oh, shit.
Fuck, now we're in business. Whenever Unesh Cryosphinx Sovereign, did I say it right? Sure.
Maybe.
Or another Sphinx enters the battlefield under your control, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, an opponent separates those. Oh, it's a 4-card Factor
It's
Fiction.
more Factor Fiction-y stuff.
So we can maybe copy that. We can certainly bounce it or flicker it, right?
Yep, definitely.
So you did skip over 1 card, and it just happens to be the infinite combo
Oh, did I miss one?
card. Yeah, it's Naru Meha Master Wizard. This is a 3/3 human wizard for blue 2 with flash, which is important. Okay, fine. Other wizards you control get +1/+1. also important in this
yeah,
deck, just because we have wizards randomly.
Lots of incidental wizards.
When Naru Meha Master Wizard enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Okay.
If we just go to instance right now, the first one I want to talk about, and the one I'll just reference when a similar effect comes up, is Ghostly Flicker. And what that says is an instant for blue 2, exile 2 target artifact creatures and or lands we control, then return them to the battlefield under your control immediately. So not at end of turn.
Right.
So what you can do is Ghostly Flicker, whatever you want, like a Factor Fiction Sphinx or Atris or what have you, cast Naru Meha to copy it, and the copy of it bounces your Naru Meha, and because it returns it as soon as the copy of Ghostly Flicker resolves, Naru Meha will come back.
Right.
You can copy the original Ghostly Flicker again. It's kind of like the Dual Caster Mage Fork combo we talked about last week or the week before.
Yeah.
It works like that. I didn't actually mean to pick the same, almost the exact same combo 2 weeks in a row, but Naru Meha could go in the Calamax deck from last week alongside the Ghostly Flicker and do kind of the same thing.
Wow.
So there's a few things that do that, and of course, because Ghostly Flicker gets copied, the copy needs to bounce the Naru Meha, and then we've got 3 other bounces and returns on the same kind of loop.
Right.
You could infinitely bounce your Peregrine Drake, tapping your mana in response to it untapping every time the Peregrine Drake comes in, and that's how you can make infinite mana. You could infinitely bounce your Grey Merchant. You could infinitely bounce your Archaeomancer and cast an instant within that loop somewhere and infinitely get that instant back.
Right.
So this is the kind of thing where there's no tutors in the deck.
Yeah.
And we're playing a $27 deck. But if we get like 4 or 5 cards all at the same time, maybe that's it. So there's an easier way to do it that we'll cover, but we've got some more instants first.
Okay, we'll do the instance. We've got the first one after Ghostly Flicker is Corpse Churn.
Sure. Black 1, put 3 cards from your library into your graveyard, then return a creature from your graveyard to your hand.
Sure. Displace.
Exile up to 2 target creatures you control, return those to the battlefield under your control. That is...
Another Ghostly Flicker.
Yes.
Essence Flux.
Exile a creature you control, then return it to the battlefield with a +1 on it.
Another Flicker effect.
Yes.
Final Death.
This is just exile target creature 5 in black.
So is Final Reward.
Yeah, it's final and it's final.
Yes. Fortune's Favor.
Target opponent looks at the top 4 cards of their library and separates them into face down thing, and it's like fucking Factor Fiction.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah. We talked about Ghostly Flicker. Hour of Glory.
Hour of Glory Shot. Do not Google an Hour of Glory Shots.
No.
I don't know why I said that. Because now...
Somebody's going to do it.
Somebody's going to do it.
Fools.
Well, if they're into it, I mean.
I guess, yeah, that's their thing.
No kink shaming in CCO. Somebody said that on the Discord the other day. Okay, this is black 3, exile target creature. Oh, so it's... Okay.
Yep.
And then, if that creature was a god, its controller reveals their hand and exiles a card with the same name. Oh, that's never going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see their hand, though.
If you exile a god.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, you get to see their hand still if you exile a god. That'll happen.
I suppose, yeah, you exile a god. Yeah,
people...
look at that's the Scorpion God fucking up Ronus.
Dang, it's not very nice. Ronus is a way better card than the Scorpion God. I question the validity of that art.
Yes.
Yeah, man. How about Illusionist's Stratagem?
Exile 2 creatures, then return them to their owner's control, which is a point of... and draw a card for 4 mana. Cool. Point of reference, exile to their... and blink to their owner's control. Very different than exile and return to our control.
Yes.
If there's effects that say until end of turn, like steal until end of turn or reanimate until end of turn, if we blink those back to our control, they're new objects and they forget that they needed to be sacrificed or given back.
Yeah, no, they're ours.
This one makes it go back to our opponent.
Yeah.
Now, reading the card explains the card. Can't believe I just fucking said that.
How about Rescue from the Underworld?
Cool.
That's a cool one.
Cool art, cool name. Is the card any good? I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is 4 mana instant. As an additional cost, you sacrifice a creature.
Okay, we like it so far.
Yes. Choose target creature card in your graveyard, return that card and the sacrifice card to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next upkeep.
Your next upkeep.
Oh. So it takes them like 3 other players' turns to fucking find their way out of the underworld.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the guy's got to go down into the underworld to rescue Persephone, and then she walks behind him the whole time, and he's not allowed to turn around to see whether she's out of hell yet.
Oh, but he does.
Yeah, and then he does right at the end.
I ruined it, didn't I?
You ruined the ending of the story, but that's fine. Everybody knows that's why why Persephone lives down there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's why Persephone lives in the underworld with Hades, because Hades tricked whoever, I forget the guy's name, into turning around to look to make sure she was still there. And then Hades was like, fuck you, asshole, and took her back. It was pretty sweet.
Oh. Didn't he turn to stone?
That's Medusa.
Yeah, I know, but didn't that happen to that guy?
Nah, he was just an asshole after that. He was just like, fuck, I suck.
Oh, he just like, he couldn't.
Yeah, he traversed all of hell twice and then just got wrecked at the last second.
Oh.
Whoa.
Wow. Well, cool card. Top-down flavor, design on point, cool art, cool ability. Cool card, yeah.
You know what else we got? We got a Siren's Ruse.
Yeah. Exile Creech, then return it to the battlefield if it was a pirate, which it might be.
It could be. There is a pirate in this deck.
Pirate, yeah. You draw a card if it was a pirate.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the last one is Teferi's Time Twist.
TTT. This is the TTT podcast. See? make that joke again. Anyways, exile target permanent you control. See? Return that card to the battlefield, and then it +1s, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Why not?
2 mana. Yeah, you get 1 thing instead of 2 things, but you still could have infinite ETBs with your Naru Meha.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Do some sorceries?
Yes, these are where the deck is going to like come to life, because these are going to be the things that get us our graveyard getter backers, if you will.
I'm sure that he's playing this because he's a huge Seb fan in Blood for Bones.
I think this card's good.
It's a fine card, but, it could have better art on it.
It's I do like this one because the skulls look like anatomically accurate, which is not something that is consistent with some of Seb McKinnon's other works. This is a sorcery. As an additional cost, in addition to the black 3, you sack a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then return another target creature from your graveyard to your hand.
It's pretty good.
So you kind of get 2 back, but you have to cast one of them. So it's kind of like the, Rescue from the Underworld, but slower and doesn't put them both into play.
Yeah. And given all of the ETB stuff we have, it wouldn't hurt to have another one come back, right?
Yeah, you might
save it for a later date.
You might get your Archaeomancer back into your hand and not want to cast it. Right? Okay.
Maybe you don't have the instant or sorcery you want to play with your Archaeomancer, or maybe you don't have the creature you want to bounce with your bouncy bounce mage yet, right? You can save it for a later date.
Yes, flexibility.
Very important. How about Boneyard Parlay?
Ooh, this one, I don't know if I think we've played one deck ever that's had this. This is 7 mana, black 5, exile up to 5 target creature from your graveyard.
From graveyards. All graveyards.
Yes. We're going to have 5 if nobody else does.
Yes.
I think that's important. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles, so we're doing the pile thing. All right, this deck's a pile.
Period.
Yes.
Period.
Put all cards from the pile of your choice onto the battlefield and the rest into their owner's graveyards.
That's a cool card.
They go back into the graveyards.
Dude, get them again.
Yes, that's a good one.
I like that. How about Ever After?
6 mana.
I love paying 6. Every turn, we're just paying 6.
Yes.
Let's just play one thing a turn. Let's go.
Return up to 2 target creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield. Each of those creatures is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Put Ever After on the bottom of its owner's library.
Ooh.
So we could, with the shuffle effect, feasibly get this again.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, if we can infinite cast and bounce Naru Meha with a flicker effect in there that draws us a card. Ooh. We could draw our entire deck and get that from the bottom.
Hell yeah.
And reanimate 2 more things.
Shit, yeah, dude.
Seems good.
Totally worth it. The last, not the last one, but it's a Flood of Tears.
The last 6 mana sorcery, it's not that
it's
either.
Not even that.
We're not dunking on the deck because I do like decks like this.
I do too.
This is a 6 mana sorcery. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hand. If you return 4 or more permanents that we control this way, you put a permanent card from our hand onto the battlefield. This is fixed Cyclonic Rift. That you have to pay 6 for, that you can't pay 2 or 1 for.
Yeah.
So, Okay, that's fine.
I like Flood of Tears, actually.
Yeah, if we want a Cyclonic Rift or we want a sweeper effect in a budget deck and we don't want to fucking play Cyclonic Rift, that's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about Infernal Offering?
Ooh, this is an offering card, so this is, I don't know if it's, let's just read it. It's sorcery, black 4, choose an opponent. You and that player each sack a creature. Each player who sacrificed a creature this way draws 2 cards. So you could pick somebody who doesn't have a creature and they don't draw a card.
Yes.
Okay. If an opponent, choose an opponent, could be a different one. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then a player does the same thing. Like the player that you chose does the same thing.
Yeah.
You could choose somebody that's got an empty graveyard.
Yes.
And that's just a draw to get a creature back.
Yeah, draw 2, get a creature back for 5.
Or you could do the political thing and like strategically pick so they do get something, and then you could
make a friend.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we're gonna do. F that. How about Tempt with Immortality?
Oh, he's playing the offering and the tempt cards.
Oh.
This is a sorcery black 4 tempting offer, which means we do something and then the effect is added onto if they do the same thing.
Yes.
Right? Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Each opponent may return a creature card from their graveyard to the battlefield. For each player who does, we get another one.
I think that this is a dangerous card in this deck, because while the deck is pretty cool, it's also, like, I don't want to say it's janky, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I'd want to give creatures back to my opponents in a deck like this. Like, I'm going to get a wizard that boomerangs a thing, or unsummons a thing, and they're going to get a Thrun the Last Troll, or a Massacre Girl.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, if we pick our boomerang wizard and they pick their Atali, the spell resolves, they enter the battlefield, and then our trigger goes on the stack, it can see Atali and bounce it.
But then they just play it again.
They can just play it again. Or they could not take the offer, but then we bounce something else that they have.
Yeah, but then it's in their bin, and they can't get it, but then they have it back. I don't know. It's a dangerous card. Those tempting offers are dangerous cards.
Yes, very much so.
And I know this is probably why you picked the deck, let's be honest.
It wasn't, but it is also a dangerous 6 mana sorcery.
Oh, it certainly is. It is Twilight's Call.
Oh, this is one of my favorite Magic cards of all time. Of course, infamously played this directly into a Graph Digger's cage that was sitting about 14 inches away from my face. It was right beside my head. Oh, man. Didn't lose that game. Didn't win. I should note. Got second. But black 4, you can pay 2 extra, so black 6, to cast it as an instant, and you return all creatures from all graveyards to the battlefield under their owner's control.
Hell yeah.
Fucking sweet.
You want to do the land suite real fast?
You know, I think it would behoove us.
It would behoove us
to mention how to build a mana base on the budget to newer members of CCONation.
We love doing budget mana bases. This is a really great example of how to do one in Dimir colors. It plays all the solid staple shit that you're going to need.
Yeah, I got this. 38 land.
38 land?
Yep. 20 islands.
Tap for blue.
18 swamps.
Tap for black.
That's it.
End of land suite. Let's keep going to the enchantments. All right, we have one of the cards that I love seeing this.
Did you remember what it did?
Oh yeah,
you remember what this card did?
I am so happy that when I see this card played anywhere, it makes me happy.
I think it was originally in Scourge. Okay, this is like the second booster box I ever bought.
The reason I like this card so much is because I used to have a wizard deck, and this is what I used to beat wholesale ass and win with my wizard deck.
Oh.
I would control the board and have a bunch of little shitty wizards. And I was like, oh, Brando, you have all these shitty wizards. And then I drop Day of the Dragons and beat wholesale ass.
Pummel until everybody is just smashed up chicken parts.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so enchantment. Blue. 4. Okay, that's great. We have enough islands to cast this.
Definitely.
It's fine. Okay, when it enters the battlefield, exile all creatures you control. I'm listening.
Yeah, you got my attention.
Then create that many 5/5 red dragon creature tokens with flying.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, that's good. When Day of the Dragons leaves the battlefield, sacrifice all dragons you control, then return the exiled cards from the battlefield. The ones that were exiled, you return them back to the battlefield.
Shit, yeah.
So I'm sure that with Blinking and Narumeha copying, getting like, I don't. Do we have infinite enter the battlefield anything with our dragons? Does that matter?
I don't think it matters. I think this is cool. You just beat wholesale ass with 5/5 flying dudes, and everybody likes doing that.
I think so. Like if you have 4 wizards that maybe 2 of them bounce stuff that are still in your opponent's hand because they just haven't cast them yet.
I mean, it still, like, we're playing lots of 7 drops, lots of 6 drops, lots of big high mana cost stuff. It's not like you're gonna be playing a ton of stuff every turn, or have a lot of interaction going on and stuff. So you might as well just drop Day of the Dragons at some point when you have a bunch of dudes.
I think
set yourself up for a win, and if somebody removes it, the worst that happens is all of your shit happens again.
All your shit comes back, and it bounces their stuff.
Nothing bad will happen to you playing Day of the Dragons, really, in this deck.
Like, unless they counter it.
Yeah, unless they counter
7 mana.
Yeah.
But that's true of anything, right?
Yeah, but like, there's really no downside to this card in this deck, and that's pretty cool.
So do you go turn like 3, 4, 5, or like 4, 5, 6, creature, Day of the Dragons? By turn 6 or 7, when you have your Day of Dragons online, and 4 things, that's 20 power. Can you kill somebody then?
Maybe, depending on
the dragons don't have haste, though.
But depending on what your opponents have been doing, maybe you can. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, you know what you could do, Day of the Dragons? You could, at end of turn, like Ghostly Flicker something, or like bounce your Day of the Dragons and all your things. So all of your things come back and bounce all their things, and then your Day of the Dragons comes back, and all your guys turn into dragons, and then player 3 or player 4 goes, go. And we untap after we've done that flicker thing with Day of the Dragons, and now all of our 5/5s can attack.
Yeah.
There it is. We just bounced all your shit. Now we got that 20 power. Now you're going to die.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Last enchantment of the 2, we have Diabolic Servitude.
Oh, can we get an oracle text on this?
No. Read it as it is, Ryan.
All right. Black 3 enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, choose target creature card in your graveyard. Put that creature onto the battlefield.
Okay.
Diabolic Servitude then becomes an enchant creature, or enchants a creature, enchanted creature put onto the battlefield with Diabolic Servitude. Yep. It enchants that creature. Yeah. So it becomes that kind of an enchantment. When it leaves the battlefield, remove the chosen creature from the battlefield. Or from the game.
Sure.
So if the creature would die, you exile it. If Diabolic Servitude would get destroyed, you exile that creature. So they have to word it that way because the templating back in Urza Saga was different, but they wanted to word it differently and cost it more appropriately than fucking Reanimate or Animate Dead or Dance of the Dead. Because it turns out getting a 2 mana, get your best guy back is like pretty good.
Pretty okay, yeah. It's a solid thing.
Yeah, it's printed, Animate Dead, printed in beta, still like one of the best Reanimate cards ever.
Yeah. All right, the last section is artifacts, and this artifact section is going directly after our boy Dana Roach's heart.
Oh,
directly after his heart, because the first card that we're going to talk about is Manalith, and then every other card that we talk about after that is also Manalith.
Yeah, sort of. I guess like we can clump all of them because they're all. Are they all 3 or 2?
All but one of them, I think. All but one of them, 2 of them, I guess. There's one that costs 4 and there's one that costs 2.
Sure.
One that costs 2 is a filter. The one that costs 4 gives you 2 mana. The rest of them are Altar of the Pantheon, Cultivator's Caravan, Fountain of Ichor, Mana Geode, Spinning Wheel, and Vessel of Endless Rest. All of them tap to add 1 mana of any color and have some other tertiary effect.
Yeah, which is not negligible. That's why they're all better than Manalith?
Yeah, they're just like, they're more complicated. Just play Manalith. It's so good. It's simple. It's straight ahead.
1 line of text.
Yeah, no bull crap. It's got a real nice picture on it.
There it is.
It's a good ass card, man.
Yeah, and tell Dana Roach the boys at CCO sent them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, listen, that's the deck. I said a couple times, I think, I do like it. I like graveyard butt stuff.
Yep.
I would like to encourage anybody playing butt stuff to just butt stuff harder. Pretend that grave hate doesn't even exist. Play right through it.
Yeah, it's like playing Dredge. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to get your graveyard exiled. Just lean into it. Fuck it.
Make them have it, right?
Yeah.
And once they do have it, because they fucking will, because there's 3 of them and 1 of you, they will, just pretend like it didn't even happen. Yep. Don't get sour, just play right on through.
Yeah, just start doing it again.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Just keep going.
Very important. When I had 9 creatures and I cast that Twilight's Call and got 0 of them, you play right through. I tilted onto the shadow plane and put my hat down over my eyes and slumped down so nobody could see who I was. But you start politicking again, you get some artifacts removed, you do some other reanimation, you fucking murder the guy who plays Grafdigger's Cage. It's fine. Shout out to ZT. Good guy. But you know what?
F him.
Yeah. Very much so. So, strengths and weaknesses. Graveyards are strong.
Graveyard is strong with this one, yes.
Yes.
Having 2 hands is always better than having 1 hand.
Yes.
I feel like that's true in virtually any avenue of life or business.
Well, some people can't physiologically fit 2 hands on them, but if you can,
it's good news.
Better. Yeah, maybe don't Google that.
No, don't.
2 hands are better than 1?
Yeah, don't.
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, budget is all get out.
Yes, absolutely. You can afford this deck. You probably don't even have to pay money for it. I'll bet you have most of it already.
Because so much of it is commons and uncommons, and there's like almost no card worth more than 45 cents.
Yeah, there's a few for a couple of bucks that, again, they're not hard to find. It's not like they're chase rares or anything.
Yeah, and you know what too is like Architect, like the cheapest price that a common is listed for or something is like 25 cents when they pull it through whatever website they're using. So like this deck could be even cheaper.
Yeah, it's probably less than the $27 listed. It's actually on the title is $15 budget Atris. So I would be willing to bet that this budget is skewed by the internet.
Yes, very much so. Now, last strength that I want to highlight, and you touched on it. Fucking backup Day of Dragons WinCon.
Yeah, dude.
All right. So weakness, obviously, all of the 7 drops, all the 6 drops, no real, like, let's call it a spade, no real good mana production.
You don't have a ton of haymakers in this deck either.
Yeah.
Like, even your big mana stuff doesn't have that big mana impact on the table in most cases.
Yeah, it's going to fuel your graveyard, which next weakness could just get exiled.
Yeah. And I think that the weakness that I point out in decks like this all the time is whenever you leave a choice up to your opponent, they're always trying to hose you, so very rarely will you actually get what you want. And there's a lot of stuff in here where it separates things into piles. And yeah, you're using the graveyard as a resource, and yeah, you're playing lots of stuff out of your graveyard, reanimation, recursion, all that stuff. But when you really need something, you might get it and nothing else. And that is kind of a weakness in decks like this.
Yeah, for sure. The only other thing I would add to that for our budget section, sometimes we roll the budget into the strengths or weaknesses like we did here today. The Narumeha combo, if you wanted to eliminate like all combo possibilities, and that includes like the Twilight's Call where you can reanimate like everything you need at once. Your Archaeomancer, your Narumeha, and your Archaeomancer will get you back like your Ghostly Flicker all at once. You can cut that combo out, and you could cut like another about $3 off of the list because Narumeha is actually the most expensive card in the deck.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
And
How many
I think,
is
and
she?
correct me if I'm wrong, that's because Narumeha does actually see play at $2 in like there's CEDH Narumeha Mono Blue Control combo lists.
Sure.
I don't know if that's a tier 1 deck anymore, but just because like maybe Mono Blue isn't the best. And I do have to correct myself. Fallen Shinobi, Brando just pointed out, 50 cents more than Narumeha.
Yeah. And I think that's because it says whenever it hits somebody, you get to play shit off your opponent's libraries for free.
I think because it's a ninjutsu card from Modern Horizons.
Yeah. It's a ninja zombie from Modern Horizons. Of course, it's going to cost $250, right?
Yeah. So, with all patron and listener submitted decks, Spice Calculator. Baby. So, Atris Oracle of Half-Truths, 16th most popular Dimir commander on EDHRec.com.
I don't have the EDHRec.com, so I can say what he's under and what he's over.
Definitely have you covered.
Oh. So he's right behind Tygam Sidisi's Hand. That's a bad place to be. And Dralnu Lichlord.
Right above Dralnu Lichlord. At the time of the show notes, 187 lists.
Oh no, Dralnu. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. Get this. You'll like this. If you like Dralnu, you'll like this. Average CMC, 4.
Fuck yes.
0.6.
Yes. Now we're playing EDH, baby.
Yep. Uniqueness rating. This is cards different in our list today than the stock EDHrec.com page.
Ooh.
Lots of the Flicker stuff and the Narumeha package does cross over, but we do have 37 individual cards, including no Soul Ring, which I am almost ready to give an extra spice point for.
I'd do it.
But we don't necessarily have to because we do pass the 50 test. You punch it all in, we get a 57.1 spicy.
That is a great rating.
That's it.
That's a great rating for a budget deck like this. Again, that runs into kind of it's one of those commanders that kind of tells you what to do. You want to blink it. You want to take advantage of this guy's ability all the time.
And we're doing the thing that the deck tells us to do that EDH Rec told us as well.
Yeah, and we're doing it, and we still got a high spicy rating, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I think on all holes. Don't go that.
That's right.
This deck is cool. So, Inky Butthead, thank you very much for sending it in. We appreciate it. And I think that the deck does make us both feel good.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's because we're together face to face for the first time in like 8 weeks or 9 weeks. I've got a fridge full of beer that we're going to drink.
Oh, yo.
That kind of sounds like a final thought of the day. Just quickly, though, I do want to just remind everybody, check out commandercookout.com/store. We're going to have some coasters up there. You're welcome to buy them in tandem with CCO stickers. That helps us out a lot with shipping because we can ship everything all at once. That's great.
CCOsters also.
CCOsters and CCO sticks.
Yeah.
Lots of S's in there. I hope the compression, now that we're together and it doesn't, I hope you can make it sound good.
It'll sound fine.
Yeah. Check out the upcoming YouTube content all week and next week, including Brando Does Stuff. That's Brando's new YouTube channel. It's kind of new. I'm calling it new,
It's
right?
new enough.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not 181 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's new.
Holy shit.
So check that out. Of course, links to all of our content will be in the show notes. And for everything else Commander Cookout related, you can find on
CommanderCookout.com.
Yeah, now, I guess final thought of the day. What do you think?
Final thought?
Oh, hey, wait a second. We didn't do a good vibe.
Dude,
roll your good vibe into the final thought of the day. I think I know where you're going to go.
Absolutely. The good vibe of the day is we finally get to be together as homies and do magic stuff in the same room as each other. We've been VEDHing it a little bit over the last few weeks, but nothing can beat being in the room with your friends, talking magic, drinking beer, doing all that stuff that we do. We're going to go upstairs. We're going to have a barbecue later, just like we used to back in the day. It's going to be awesome. As far as the deck goes, super duper classic EDH deck. It feels like an old school playing big splashy cards that cost $1,000 that you will never see the light of day in any other format. And they found a home in a really cool EDH deck. So thank you, Dink Stomp, for sending them in. This is a deck that I think will be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll even give it away to somebody to prove it. We'll see how that goes. Who knows? We'd like to thank our amazing sponsors, FaceToFaceGames.com. They're Canada's biggest magic store for helping us keep the lights on. And as much as we like to thank them, we want to thank all of you for inviting us into your ear holes, your eye holes, and any other hole that you invite us into on a weekly basis. It makes us feel really good to be talking to somebody and not nobody. So we really owe that to you, and we really appreciate you guys helping us get through this difficult time as we try to add a little bit of levity to your life. And we'll be back again next week at the same time for another episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!